So hi everyone, it's Karen here, and I will be doing a video today creating this Dreamcatcher layout. Now you don't have to make this as a layout. You could use the same techniques and make it on a canvas. It doesn't really matter what you use. It's just a really fun and beautiful techniques that are great for any type of project. I'm going to be using the Midnight Garden collection today, and also the new icing pastes from Prima. So I'm going to put this one aside, and I'm going to bring my other background, which is the same basic paper, and I'm going to basically put the same way. This is one of the pages that comes in the collection. The other side is also just as beautiful and has a beautiful foiled paper. And I use one more paper from that collection where I fussy cut a few feathers to add to it as well. So I already did this in advance because I did not want to sit here and fussy cut any type of feather. The first step is basically doing the texture in the background, and this is what you see up here. So to do that, I used a couple of different stencils from the new Ephemera collection. This one is called Tapestry, and I use this one as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little bit of texture in the background using the icing pastes. I'm going to grab my silicone brush, and I'm going to use one of my favorite colors. I think I'd say this every time. It's called Fire Ruby. It's a perfect color for this collection. This is why I love it so much. The Midnight Garden collection is a new collection from Prima for this January 2019. You can see links below in the description. I'm going to create texture, and I know that my focal point is right here at top, so I know that I can use some red texture here at the top. So all I do is I just grab the paste, and it's such a smooth paste. It really is easy to apply. I love applying this, and it's just so easy. So, and I'm not going to go all the way to the ends. You don't want to add it everywhere. You want to kind of add it in certain areas where it's thicker at the top, because you know that my area is going to be much bigger and my embellishments are going to cover a thicker area. But as I'm dwindling down, you kind of create a triangle going down the page. So that's basically what I do. And look how pretty that is. I'm going to add some more here towards the bottom. And it's really easy. And I'm not adding a lot. It's not necessary to add a lot because you want it to dry quickly, especially now that I'm doing a live show. It's important to do this a thin layer. That way it dries quicker. So I went a bit thicker here, but that's because I want to add a little bit more on this side. So I want to be careful when I'm doing this now. You could definitely dry it. If you're doing it at home, please dry this in advance. I'm not doing that just because I don't have the time to dry it again, but you see it smushes some of the areas where I put my stencil. But if you're doing it calmly at home, don't do this, what I'm doing right now. Please dry it first and then move the stencil around. It makes a huge difference. You don't get so much of a smushed up technique on the background. So that's basically my first layer, and I'm going to dry this up while I clean up my stencil. It's really important to clean up your stencils because otherwise everything gets on them and then you can't use them for anything else. So it will always stain the stencil, so there's nothing you can do about that, but I just make sure that there's nothing in between the holes. That way you can use it again and again. So I'm going to dry this up quickly, and I'm going to use this stencil, which is called some kind of berry, I think. Oh gosh, I always forget names of things, but I'm going to use this for the next one. Okay, so these pastes dry really quickly, which is nice. Now I'm going to use a different color. I wanted to use some of the blue, and I'm going to add a few accents of the blue in the background, just because I don't want to overwhelm everything. So this one is called Ice Blue. No, hold on. I don't want to make up stories. Turquoise, Mystic Turquoise. I don't know why I said ice blue. I have no idea. Okay, so for this one, the same idea goes. And it's really nice to layer stencils and get different textures in the background. Now, because there's already something behind, this might not come out as beautiful as you think. But it's still really nice. You see some of them kind of get smushed up, but that's okay. I don't mind that because I like the texture, and that is all I care about. And I'm only adding them kind of at the bottom and on the sides because truthfully in the middle you will not see it. You will barely notice any texture anywhere else because of it being covered by the flowers and by everything else. So there's just no point in wasting your paste if you don't need to do that. So some here and some over here. And that really makes a difference. So I love creating this type of texture. And I've used this icing paste in so many things. I think I'm going to put some blue at the top here. So it's really nice to layer, but just make sure that you're drying in between layers, right? Because you don't want this to get smushed up the way it did before with mine, with my red. So there we go. And I can always add more if I see that I need to afterwards, but I think I'll be okay. Oops, I wanted to just add a little bit of blue here, but it didn't work. Okay, anyways, that will get covered, so it's okay. So now again, I'm going to dry this out and I'm going to start cleaning my stencil. So I felt like it needed a little bit of splatter, and I love doing this. And I took 3 different colors, this one, and where is my blue? Oh no, I also brought a blue, but somehow it's hiding from me. So I'm gonna use this one. This is the Sparks. It's called Dragon's Eye. And I'm also using a metallic color. It's the red wine, because I felt like they matched this perfectly. And this is a really favorite technique that I like doing. It's very simple and very effective, and you can really get really good results with it. I guess I will not do the blue because I cannot find it. All I do is take a paintbrush and basically do splatters. Wow, what a technique. It's not my technique. I did not invent this. I'm just saying that I really love doing this. I love creating splatters. And these are metallic splatters, so it's even better. And make sure you wear an apron when you're doing this because it stains everything. I even went to put on a pajama shirt before I started this because I wanted to make sure that it doesn't splatter all over my really nice clothes that I was wearing. So these are really cool, and they're golden in color. And I'm basically staying around my triangle, but if it splatters anywhere else, that's okay as well. I love that as well. I'm going to wash my paintbrush, and I'm going to do a little bit with the red now. Let me switch these around. I don't know what happened to the blue. I totally brought it, and then did I put it back? So these are very similar to the Fire Ruby, this color, I mean. So it's really cool to add it to the background. And it gives a really nice texture. So I love doing that as well. Okay, so that's that. Oh, there it is. I found it. Yeah, good thing I found it. This is also a spark. It's called Magical Pond. Oh, I don't know if I brought the right one. Okay, well, it is what it is. Oh, I think I was supposed to bring the other one, not the Magical Pond one, but okay. We'll use the Magical Pond today. And it's a little bit dry. I need to put a little bit of water in it. So the good technique to do is if you're running and it's drying up a little bit, all you have to do with acrylic paint, as long as it's not fully dry, you can always reconstitute it with a little bit of water. This one needs a little bit more. Perfect. Now it's much easier to splatter as well. So we're going to splatter. And if okay, that one has a lot of splatter. I might have to dry this a little bit. Ooh. Okay. The only good thing is that that area will not show. I think a lot of paint fell on it, and that's okay. There we go. Now it's better. So I love splattering. I'm just making a really big mess everywhere. So this is really fun. I feel like I'm in kindergarten when I do this. So there we go. That's it. Don't do any more because I could go on forever with these splatters, but it's truly not necessary. And I'm gonna dry this again. I really wanted to create a dream catcher with that picture of my daughter because I thought she kind of looked kind of like a gypsy, or I don't know. I called it a gypsy soul. She does have a gypsy soul, but truthfully, I just really like the picture with her horse. So I thought I really wanted to create a dream catcher, and I was trying to figure out a round frame to use, and I could not figure out what to use. None of the frames worked perfectly. The one frame that Prima has, I did not have in stock. I had already used it for something else. So I really needed to use something round. And the best idea was to use an embroidery hoop. And this is, I think, a 4 or 5 inch embroidery hoop. I used the other one for the first layout. So you know how the embroidery hoops come one inside the other one? So this one was used for the first one, and I'm using this one for the second one. And what I did is I painted the embroidery hoop with a little bit of the paint. And I actually did that at the end, but because I'm still waiting for things to dry, I will just paint this a little bit as well, just so I can add some color to the hoop, so it doesn't look so blank. So it's really easy. All I did is just add a small layer of this. It kind of made it look a little bit more golden. And I even went inside a little bit. And this pretty much covers everything. Now, this is a pretty thick hoop, so you want to you won't be able to put this in an album, but this is a really nice gift. Like, you could really make this on a canvas or even frame a layout inside a shadow box. And this is a beautiful gift you can give to a family member or to a friend if you use their picture. So I just think this is just such a nice gift to give somebody. I've given a lot of layouts to a lot of people over the years. I've made them some layouts with their families, and people have always appreciated them. I'm also going to add a little bit of red, but I think I'll do that afterwards. I mean, because I don't know if I'll be doing red or blue in this situation. Now, for the photo, this time I picked a different photo. It's from the same photo shoot that I did with my daughter. So I really like this photo. It's a photo of hers, like silhouette, and her horse. She loves this horse, and she loves horseback riding. But I was trying to figure out, how am I going to get this to stay? And I knew I could use cardboard or some 3D tape, but the best idea I had is to just use an old lid from Prima, and that was perfect, and it just basically stayed there, and then I didn't have to worry too much about it. So then all you have to do is just glue things, and I'm going to use some 3D gel to glue this part. Once all this is glued, all I had to do is just add the embellishments, which is the flowers and the feathers and everything else. Let me glue this first. Don't want to mess it up. So I'm going to put some of this here so it stays in place. And the same thing with the hoop. So I'm going to add glue, and I want to make sure that it stays in place. So make sure you use either heavy gel or 3D matte gel to really reinforce it. That way it stays in place. Okay, there we go. There we go. And now I will use some of this. I guess I can use the same thing. Maybe I'll put it on here. Okay, and use this for the photo. Just to be very careful because things are still kind of wet everywhere. Now it's time to embellish. Now I don't have the exact same flowers I did before, but I thought maybe this time to kind of make the central flower to be blue. And I might do it on the other side just because I don't want to cover her horse over here. So if you look here, I don't know why I like anchoring flowers on this side of the page. I usually put the big flowers here. That's what I call anchoring, when I'm putting a large flower at the bottom corner of one of my pictures. But I think I'm going to anchor it on this side just because I don't want to cover her horse. And then all I have to do is just add other, let's see, now I want to add some more flowers from here. So I might add a smaller flower here. Here we go. Actually, no, you know what I'll do? Because this is a metallic flower and this is not, so I think I'm not going to use the metallic one. So one of the cool things that you can do with Prima flowers, and I'm going to show you, is that you can actually take them apart. And I know it's crazy. Why would you want to take such beautiful flowers apart? But for example, let's say I want a smaller flower to go right here, but I don't have the space for a big flower. So you can just go ahead and do that. And you can still reuse this. You can even cut them. So for example, I can go and cut this in half and tuck it in somewhere. So I can tuck it in right here and nobody would know that this is not a full flower because it's just tucked in underneath. And there we go. Oops, not like that. Okay, there we go. I mean, these are just, will be fine once I glue them. It's just because they're kind of sticking underneath. Okay, so I have a few more flowers I can use. So this can kind of go down here. And it's sometimes okay to separate them. That way you can really get the most out of the flowers. Okay, there we go. So I have my two anchoring things, and now I'm going to kind of add the feathers everywhere. So I'm trying to see what else. I use some smaller flowers, but I will put those afterwards. So first let me glue these bigger flowers because otherwise it will all mess up. It's much easier when I glue everything. I like kind of keeping them in the same spot as where they were. Okay, that's good. And then I'm going to glue the other side, starting with the one that is at the bottom. So it's really fun to just add flowers, and you just can add them any way you like. You don't have to do it the way I'm doing them. I just like putting them close to the picture and then putting the smaller ones coming out down my layout. So these are my bigger ones, and now I'm going to put some feathers. So as I told you, I fussy cut some feathers. I didn't put any strings to the Dreamcatcher. I just thought that I could just glue feathers in different directions, and I really liked how that turned out. So I just kept the same thing, and I just stuck some closer to the Dreamcatcher and some further away. Make sure that things look even everywhere. So if I put a white feather here, I would put the other one on the other side. So I have a blue feather here, and I think this one should go here. And whatever I couldn't cover, I covered it with a flower. So that's why it was good to do that. And I used other feathers as well, right? So one feather covered the other one. And the nice thing is that you can use the gel, and that covers things as well. That looks cool, yeah. The blue one should go here and here. What do you guys think? I like that. So you wouldn't think that all these colors would go well together, but they really do. So I mean, I do agree with that. They do look really good. So I'm going to use the gel to glue these on. The nice thing about the gel is that it can be used not only to glue heavy things, but also to glue paper. So I'm gluing basically the feathers as if I'm decoupaging them on top of the background. That way they stay put and they look perfect on the background. So I really like that idea because it really helps with keeping them where they're supposed to be. So I put some glue behind and some on top, and it really seals them well. I love Dreamcatchers. Who else loves Dreamcatchers? I really, really love Dreamcatchers. I've made so many projects with Dreamcatchers on them. Truthfully, so many, because I really love the idea of them. But I also love feathers and birds and the way they look, so I end up making this a lot. And the nice thing about this gel is that it dries clear, so all this white stuff that you see, you will not see it once the gel dries, which I could heat set it, but I want to just continue on. So I'm going to add some of the real feathers. Well, they're not really real. I mean, I think they're dyed with color. So I'm going to take some of the blue feathers and some brown ones. So I'm going to, now there's already some glue, right? The gel is already there. So all I have to do is just kind of stick them on. So let's see what I put. I like the brown ones as well. And I don't mind if these don't totally stick. I want to make sure that they kind of stick out. I think they will look nicer that way. And you can buy these on Amazon or at the dollar store. I think I got mine at the dollar store. They're like, I think they're called like pheasant feathers, or some of them are too big. I don't want to use such big ones. Some of them are smaller. Sometimes I can cut the feather. So I end up cutting it so I could use it. Yeah, that's good. And the other thing I'm going to add, well, besides red feathers, which I have to get from a different pack, is these mini flowers. These are also part of the collection. And I want to add them to the background as well. These really add great texture, but they also help you hide any areas where things do not turn out as well. Because, I mean, let's say the feathers are not stuck properly, or they look weird when they're not attached to each other. So you can really add flowers, and it adds to the theme as well. Kind of like a flower child theme. The only thing with feathers is that they stick to everything. It is so annoying. Now, another thing that I did is I kind of stuffed some feathers underneath here to kind of cover that hole. I didn't like that it was a hole there. So I put some glue and I literally shoved some feathers in there. That way it hid some of the background as well. There we go. It looks better that way, right? And let's see what else. Where are my red feathers? Oh, there they are. Okay, I think I need glue here. And let's see. Yeah, I really like that. Always, I don't know when to quit, when to say, okay, that's enough feathers, that's enough flowers. I end up wanting to add more because I feel like it's missing some. I think it's missing one red one somewhere here. There we go. That's good for me. Okay, the other thing I added is some gemstones. And you can use Say and crystals, or you can use these. They're very similar. The only difference is these which are the art pebbles. They need to be stuck with glue, while the gemstones, what the Say and crystals do not. But similar colors. I thought this would be perfect for that. To just add some gemstones on this. So beautiful. So I just like adding these type of things. It really adds the texture to everything. Oh, that looks so pretty. And now all I have to do is just add a title. So it's really easy. And I use stickers for this. I actually use stickers. You can also use like a metal title. I could do that as well. I found this one. It says love on it. But I wanted to show you what I did for the other one. I used these old stickers from Prima. And basically, I painted them with the Sparks colors. So there is that. And I just want to show you what I did. So I took the gold color and I painted the letters that I needed. It's really easy. It's a really good technique. If you don't have the color that you want, you can just paint any sticker with those colors. So for example, I'm going to write, what should I write? Spirit. I think that will be too long. Maybe I'll just do free. So I paint the F on top and the E and the E. So I need 2 E's for free. It's a really good way of getting the letters that you want. And there's the R over here. So I usually paint them on top just because it's easier that way. So I'm going to dry this. And then what you just do is you peel it and you stick it onto your page. So any old stickers that you have, you can basically make new ones out of them, which is great. It's a great way to repurpose things. So these are really, really old from Prima, but any type of old letters, stickers, whatever you have, you can repurpose. There we go. And now I bring back my layout, and all I have to do is stick this on. F R. I mean, it should be free spirit, but I don't think I have room for the word spirit. It's free. And then if maybe later on I'll add the word spirit in a smaller letter. I don't have time to do that right now because I want to finish. So thank you so much for everyone that came today. I am really appreciative for you guys coming. I hope you liked my tutorial, and I hope you like this project that I created. I really love this layout, and you can, as I said, create it on anything you want. Could be a canvas, could be I mean, even a round canvas would look really good, or it could be just a piece of cardboard, basically anything, and just enjoy creating and have fun and enjoy the journey. So thank you so much and have an amazing day. Bye.